Hi, everyone. My name is Mackenzie Nordone, and I am a support group host here at NOCD. Today, I want to talk a little bit about how OCD does not respond to logic. But before we do that, let's talk about what OCD is. OCD is when someone experiences an obsession, which is an intrusive thought, image, or urge. And in order to get rid of the anxiety brought on by that obsession, they participate in a compulsion, which is anything we do mentally or physically to get rid of the anxiety brought on by an obsession. People often think that you can reason with OCD. Like if you just know your fear isn't true, it should go away. But OCD doesn't work like that. It's not a logic problem. It's a doubting disorder. It's important to realize that OCD isn't looking for facts. It's looking for certainty. And in the world of OCD, logic is never enough. I'm going to give you an example. We are a military family. We move all the time. And one of the places that we lived was South Carolina, Beaufort, South Carolina. And when we first got there, we were introduced to palmetto bugs. They're roaches. I'm sure there is some difference, but I feel like they call them palmetto bugs just to make them sound better. In reality, they are these giant roaches that no matter what you do, just exist in South Carolina. And unfortunately, they would be in our kitchen cabinets. They would be around the dog food, even though it was sealed. We'd have pest control come and spray. We did all of these things, and the palmetto bugs were still there. Everyone else around me learned how to adapt and did the best they could, but then realized that there's only so much they could do, and this is the product of the environment that we were in. Me, not so much. I spiraled. My OCD spiraled out around this problem. And so anytime I saw one, I would take absolutely every dish, every bowl, every utensil, and I would take it all out and I would run it all through the dishwasher. I'm talking everything. It would take hours. I would wipe down every cabinet with cleaning solution. Then I would go back and wipe it down with water because I didn't want the cleaning solution to get on the plates and forks and all the things. I would put it all away. And the next day, I would see another palmetto bug. What do you think I did? I repeated the whole thing over and over and over again. And I vividly remember just continuously going through the motions and stopping mid, process for the 900 millionth time and thinking, oh my gosh, I'm doing the same thing every single time. I know that this isn't going to change. I know there's going to be another bug. I know what I'm doing is not sustainable. I know that it's not logical. But the fear of, the worry of us getting contaminated and then my kids getting sick or me or my husband getting sick and then inevitably dying because I didn't do all of the steps to create the certainty that nothing bad would happen from these palmetto bugs that were in our cabinets from time to time. I knew it wasn't logical, but the fear was so loud. The fear that my loved ones or myself would die if I didn't do this process was so loud. And the reason that I harp on that is it's really easy for someone who's never experienced OCD and never experienced the real raw fear that comes along with it to say, this isn't logical. This is a waste of time. This is going to happen again. Just stop. Well, if it were that easy, I would have. If it were that easy, I wouldn't be sitting here making this video for you today, right? It's not a logic problem. It's a doubting disorder problem. It's not thinking that we can tolerate the uncertainty. I may or may not get sick. There may or may not have been a roach that ran over the plates in the middle of the night. The fear is so much louder than that logic piece. I could tell myself 100 times, okay, the kitchen is as clean as it's going to be. There's nothing else I can do. And my brain would still scream, but what if? This is where ERP therapy comes into play. ERP therapy taught me, first and foremost, that OCD doesn't respond to logic, that I can't go around a fear or over a fear or under a fear. Yes, I am quoting Going on a Bear Hunt, the childhood nursery rhyme, but we have to learn to go through it, right? We can't logic ourselves out of a situation that we get put in because of OCD. We have to sit with the uncertainty. We have to live with the uncertainty. So what would it look like now? Because I didn't have ERP therapy back then. I hadn't found it yet. Luckily for you, if you're watching this video, you have found NOCD, and I love that for you because it saved my life. ERP therapy would teach me that there's a healthy level of concern in everything in life, right? We find bugs in our cabinets. We call pest control. We wash things to a healthy level of concern, and then we move on. OCD says, well, I see your healthy level of concern, and I don't care. I'm going to keep going past that. So now I would have to tolerate it. I would have to follow the steps like calling pest control, cleaning up, and then moving on. Not, and yes, I did do this, not deciding that the kitchen is contaminated, not going out to eat every single meal of every single day, not draining my finances, my family's finances, because I have deemed the kitchen unsafe. Not move out of the house and spend thousands of dollars on a U-Haul and a new security deposit and losing security deposits from breaking a lease early, right? We can't run from the fear. We have to live with it. We have to sit with it. So circling back to what I started with today, I knew what I was doing was illogical. I knew the exacerbated fear that I had around the contamination had passed that healthy level of concern and entered into illogical OCD chaos. But the fear was so loud, and I didn't have the tools to be able to stop, step back, and readjust. And that's what ERP therapy teaches us. It takes, it teaches us to see that healthy level of concern and not cross that line, and to take a step back and to adjust and to lean into our tools and to remind ourselves that we can tolerate uncertainty. We can do hard things no matter how they show up. So no, it's not as simple as just not thinking about it or just stop. Why are you still doing this? Just stop. If it were that easy, I promise you we would have all done that by now. But we're learning to retrain our brains. We're unlearning and we're relearning how to navigate through situations where the illogical fear is completely outweighing the logical, healthy level of concern. And you can do that. I went from a place where I was struggling to function as a human being, let alone a mom and a partner and a friend and all of the other roles that I play in life. ERP therapy changed that for me. If you're looking for help, please visit our website and schedule a free 15-minute call with one of our care team members. They will be happy to answer any questions you have. Thank you all so much for spending some time with me, and I look forward to talking to you soon.